All right, now to this online outrage. Twitter just fact-checked President Trump's tweets for the first time.
They added an unsubstantiated claim label on his recent tweets criticizing mail-in voting, instead citing CNN and the Washington Post as fact.
President of District Media Group Beverly Hallberg calls the move a strategic error, and she joins us now. Beverly, why do you say that? Strategic error?
Well, first, let me just say, if we're going to be fact-checking the president, one thing that we need to keep in mind is that mail-in ballots, when people do so, it does lead to a higher percentage of voter fraud. So that is a fact. We can look to history. But I think this is a strategic error by Twitter to be the fact-checker of the world's leaders, because then it begs the question, are they going to be fact-checking all the party leaders of the People's Republic of China? And if they don't correct those tweets, does that automatically mean they're giving their stamp of approval? So I think they've made a strategic error by caving to the political pressure on the left, because in essence, they've now set themselves up as the arbiters of truth in Twitter sphere. And I'm not really sure that's something they can or want to bear.
Sure. Here's the president on this, accusing Twitter of election interference. Twitter now interfering in the 2020 presidential election. They're saying my statement on mail-in ballots, which will lead to massive corruption and fraud, is incorrect. Twitter is completely stifling free speech, and I, as president, will not allow it to happen. Let's look at a couple of stories that we have found. These are very recent headlines talking about exactly what the president is alleging can happen here. Fox 5 in Washington, D.C., talking about a West Virginia mail carrier who's facing charges over altered ballot requests in mail-in ballots. A mailman doing this. That's from yesterday. And then from just late last week, the Philadelphia Inquirer, Montgomery County sent 2,000 Pennsylvania voters the wrong ballots for next week's primary, sent one Democrat a Republican ballot. Things like this do happen. And why is that being ignored?
It does happen. I think we can expect more of the same in this upcoming election. I think many Democrats are trying to use this pandemic as a way to have more opportunity for these mail-in absentee style ballots. So I think the president is calling something out that we should pay attention to. I think it's suspect that Twitter decided that this was the moment that they wanted to fact check the president. I think they received a lot of pressure from liberals on Twitter and liberals in our elected area who want Twitter to get the president off Twitter. Twitter's not going to do that. They know that the president has been a very faithful customer to theirs. And so I think they're caving just a little bit. But in the meantime, I think what they're really doing is lowering the opinion that many conservatives have of this site, a site that they have thought has been pretty beneficial since we're able to get around some of the mainstream media, which typically isn't favorable to conservatives.
Yeah, that Inquirer headline shocked me when I read it. I'm from Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. So to see that in one county, that's a large number of ballots to be, sent incorrectly. Let's take a look at Twitter's statement here. This says, quote, "These tweets contain potentially misleading information about voting processes and have been labeled to provide additional context around mail-in ballots. This decision is in line with the approach we shared earlier this month." Beverly, final word before we go on that response.
I disagree with that. They are being biased in this approach, and this is why you did see even Senator Marco Rubio coming out and saying that maybe we need to treat Twitter not as an open forum, but actually as a publisher. So this is going to lead to Congress taking a look at how these social media platforms are actually categorized. I personally think that we should leave them as forums, but that also means that Twitter needs to get out of playing the referee with tweets.
Beverly, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Have a good day.
35 minutes after the hour.